back.
How are you? Good, I hope.
It's topic time.
It's topic time. This is Advice Corner, where we answer your questions.
About anything,
Yeah.
basically.
Yep. So today, I have gathered some questions. Do you want to say anything? Want to say anything before we get started?
What's the question? What's the topic? Let's get it going.
All right. So, Mr. King, which is, two men for those who don't know, because some people think that gay is just goes for everyone. So gay is two men, lesbian, two women. So he wants to know how us lesbians feel about two men being in a relationship together. This discussion is actually a good discussion because we have lesbians right here and then bi right here, or pansexual. So she doesn't care about what you are.
Hearts not parts.
Yeah. So Raven, how do you feel about two guys being together?
Well, I just think that gay, for me, gay is more about it's who you feel comfortable being, but it's also a sexual regimen and spectrum. So in my personal views, I am technically in a straight relationship, but I am in other aspects pansexual. That's my sexuality. So when I view relationships in the gay community, it's basically whatever you want, and that's where pretty much pansexual comes from. It's just dating people not based off of their gender or whatever they were assigned at birth. It's not based off of what they transitioned to. It's not based off of anything like that. It's just based off of that person, whether they were a man or were a woman. So when I think about gay relationships, it's really just man on man is beautiful to me.
So if two guys were oh, we want you to be in a relationship with us, would you?
I would.
I love you guys.
So you
They're
wouldn't.
fun.
So you
Yeah.
wouldn't
They're
care.
life
You
of the party.
You don't think it's nasty or anything. Okay.
I don't think it's nasty. I think it's very acceptable. I think any relationship should be acceptable because it's really not about you. It's about them.
Yeah.
And whatever they're doing, as long as it's obviously not protruding on your life purposefully. Because I was in a situation where I was in a Six Flags line with an adult who I won't specifically say their relation to me, but I will say that they were obviously perturbed by the fact that there was a stud in line in front of us who had braids like hers. And she was just she needs to pick a lane. You want to dress like a man, but your hairdo looks like a woman. And I feel first of all, she ain't doing nothing to you. She ain't did to you, period. Right. So she can be and do whatever she wants to do. And what the is wrong with a stud wearing braids? What's wrong with a stud putting on a full face of makeup? I don't see nothing wrong with none of that shit. So Floyd Tree, give me a little shout out, you feel me? Because you bad girl. You bad girl.
Oh,
but anyway, no, seriously though, relationships should be exactly whatever you want it to be and whatever you're comfortable with. And that's why it's so hard for people to come out. If you have seen our introduction video, I said I never came out. I didn't really feel like it was part of the process of being gay. Oh, you got to come out to your family. Be who you want to be, and that's period. Because a lot of people get shamed by their families just based off of who they feel like they are and what they want to be. And there's no booklet that says how to be a parent, and there's no booklet that says how to be a person. And you can be whatever the you want to be, whoever you want to, and do whatever the you want to do.
Oh, okay. Get that. All right.
Well, technically, I didn't come out either. She just stalked my whole life. So I didn't technically come out the closet. So
yeah, that's
true.
Okay, so babe,
Yeah.
Jasmine, how do you feel about two guys being together?
The gay community is awesome. Okay, so just I can't.
Well, so for me, when I was a little
I
bit,
love gay guys. I do.
okay, so you love me.
Yeah.
when I was growing up and I was confused about my sexuality, I thought that it was gross at first. I was just like, what the hell? That's nasty, blah, 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 blah.
Like with 2 girls?
But then with 2 guys. I changed my mind. Like, for me, I feel like love is love. If 2 guys want to be together, leave them alone. Let them be together.
Yeah.
So,
and I feel like people, especially men, get perturbed about gay men because it's just like, oh my God, you're not supposed to do that and this and that. But at the same time, it's like, it shouldn't bother you, especially if they're not coming up to you like, hey bro, let me say hey bro, you know, let's do this. Like, no, it has nothing to do with you. So if a man wants to be gay, let him be gay. Like, if he's not coming on to you, there shouldn't be any problem. If he just walked past you at Starbucks, don't bash him. Like, let this man wear his purple hair and heels and makeup if he wants to. Like,
I agree.
What does that have to do with you?
You know, just because there are a few gay people who, you know, like transgenders and stuff, who don't come out, and you know, they try to trick people, it doesn't mean that everyone is like that. And some people, you know, they're not trying to trick people, they're just very, very afraid to come out. You know, gay bashing in America is very, very bad, even in different countries.
People just got their rights to marry.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Obama.
So,
yeah.
Black Lives Matter.
In some countries,
yeah.
they kill people for being gay. You know,
and a lot of people in different cultures have those type of parents who are like, that is not allowed and it's blasphemous and all this other stuff. I sat in a church, and they literally, it was a gay pride weekend a few years ago, and they were like, everybody be careful, they're out this weekend, da 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 da, this is blasphemy, and da 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 da. And I'm like, that's ridiculous. Like, first of all, this is really not what it should be talked about in church. And if you just call yourself some type of whatever, you're literally not condemning yourself, but it's like it's hypocritical. You know what I mean? So I feel like, you know, just let people be who they are. They're not bothering you, man. It's ridiculous how many people in life in general and in the gay community feel like they don't belong just because the way people treat them, just because the way that they are. And there's so many people that really are like banned from their own families just for that. So of course, if they feel like, hey, my family doesn't accept this, the world's not going to accept me, why am I even here? Hang myself, or whatever the thing may be. Like, it should never get to that point. It should never get to that point.
I have a friend who, we're not gonna say any names, but her father is a pastor. He's like heavy into church, you know, and she can't be who she wants to be because it's not okay. And you know, there was very bad consequences about that situation, you know, her trying to come out to her father. So, you know, I just feel like a pastor should know better than anyone. You know, God does not judge. So who are you to judge, and why are you judging? That's one of the reasons why I don't go to church. Cause
like, how dare the church say, come as you are, except you're gay? Like,
then try to
I'm
change
still a Christian.
what kind of sense does
one.
that make?
Yeah. So I worship God on my own.
I still consider
I
myself
don't.
a Christian. So.
I'm a Christian too, but I don't feel like God said, Jesus, you know, said, I want all of you guys to follow me, follow my word, but all you great gays and lesbians, you guys stay over there.
You're an abomination.
Yeah,
Go to
like
hell.
he took everybody. Like, I feel like if God is not going to accept me for who I am, then maybe I don't need to be in heaven. Like, we accept him, why can't he accept us for who we are?
Ooh, I have a question.
What?
Do you guys think there's such thing as being born gay, or is it a choice?
I was
Act
born,
this one. She's born gay.
born gay.
I wasn't born gay.
Before I even knew about sex, relationships, body parts, I was gay. So, and you know, I had people telling me at 5 years old, even 3 years old, she's gonna be gay when she grows up. I was with the boys, chasing after the girls, you know, and in my family, that's not okay to be, you know, gay. Like, they told us growing up, like, if you're gay, we'll disown you, and, you know, so it took a lot for me to even come out. So, but I was born gay. So.
How can you be born gay?
it just happens. Like, do you think I'm not choosing a lifestyle of being bashed and beaten? You know what I'm saying? You think I would choose this lifestyle? I didn't choose this lifestyle. I was born this way.
I mean, obviously, as an infant, you don't come out and your brain is wired to say, "Oh, I'm a little boy."
Born gay. You just found your path.
I think that your brain is wired to.
I feel like once you start to understand things as a human being, as you begin to grow, obviously from childhood, you start to like feel these certain things connect inside of you, and then you come to realize that this is what it is. But what I'm saying is I don't feel like you're a little boy is wired, and at 1 year old he just knows like I want. You know what I mean? But as he comes of age and realizes things and understands life and understands himself, he realizes, hey, this is why I didn't kiss this girl at school when everybody else was running around kissing girls. You know what I mean?
Well,
stuff like that.
Well, for me, when I was younger, like 3 to 5, I wasn't. Of course, I wasn't thinking about sex. I didn't know anything about it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But it's just like naturally, girls and boys, when they go to like preschool and daycare, they, boys and girls, they naturally by instinct are with each other. But by instinct, I wanted to be with women. Instinct, I wanted to be with the boys chasing after the girls. I didn't want to be a girl
running from the boys.
Yeah, running from the boys. So it, you know what I'm saying? That's what I'm just saying. It was just in my brain. And when I took sex ed and everything like that, and I was just like, oh, that's what's wrong with me. I figured out, that I was gay. I mean,
I always knew that I've always had boyfriends. I've never had like real relationships with women, but I've always had a sexual attraction, and I always knew that I would marry a man. But women have always been just like an option. And as I became an adult, I started to realize that transsexuals were an option too. So that's how my sexuality progressed and became what it is today. But I've always known that if I were to marry, honestly, whoever takes my heart, I would marry. Like, it wasn't just like, oh, I'm gonna marry a man, but I'll whatever I want to. No, I will marry whatever. But I always had this portion of me that knew that if anything, it would probably be more likely to be a man.
Got you. Well, then that also goes into our next question. As you guys know, Raven, she never came out. She just
am who I am.
Yeah, she just is who she is. She keeps it to herself. I mean, I'm pretty sure if family lets her, like, ask her if she's gay or whatever, I'm pretty sure she'll tell.
My mom has had her relations with women.
Knows, yeah.
And my mom knows. Like, me and my mom are more best friends than mother-daughter.
Yeah.
But growing up, my dad used to tell me, you're going to be licking it's just like your mom, blah, 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 blah. So I never felt like I needed to come out, because at the end of the day, if I would have, it wouldn't be nothing worse that you never thought of or never heard, because as my father, you thought that too. So why would I even just have to come out and say it? And one day, if you find out I licked the it shouldn't be surprising.
And then difficulties coming out.
Did you want to at some point, or did they find out before you could?
Honestly, I didn't want to.
Like, never. Yeah, a lot of our parents would just be, they base their reaction off of their growing up and their views on what they think gay is or being a lesbian or anything like that. So I feel like that's where that overprotective comes from too.
Yeah.
Like,
my coming out story really wasn't difficult. Well, for
Should've
me,
been easy for you.
For me,
your mom didn't give a
okay, so it was difficult, but then it wasn't at the same time. So
women in our family are very accepting. If y'all don't know, we're cousins. Obviously, that's her girlfriend.
Yeah.
So the women in our family are very accepting, but also at the same time, it's like,
like my sister, she doesn't like it, but she has to accept it. But there's some ways that she acts that kind of makes me feel like she doesn't accept it or whatever.
If you think it, then she doesn't accept it.
But then, there is some people in the family, like when I was growing up, they would tell me, like, if like gay is not good, lesbian not good, if, you're about that, we'll disown you and stuff like that. But I really wasn't, around family like that. So at some point, I stopped caring. Like at some point, like when I was 18, that's when I came out. I was just like, the only person that I care about, is the person who's taking care of me. And at that time, I was taking care of myself at that time, but I was still living with my mom. So her opinion was the only opinion that mattered. So when I was coming out to her, she didn't believe me because for the longest time, I used men as a cover up. Because I didn't want my family to hate me, for one, and for two, like, I did not want to be gay, and for three, I just wanted to be accepted. So and being that I didn't have a father, I wanted to, I guess, have that man figure in my life. So I would try to be with men to fill that void, and it didn't work. So when I had told my mom, like, yeah, I have a girlfriend, like, I brought her over, she, like, laughed in our face. She was just like, girl, you was a liar, like, you're boy crazy. And I'm like, no, I'm not boy crazy, but I'm gay. So she didn't believe me until, a few months of us dating, she was like, oh, you're really gay or something.
Some friends ain't with that, and some friends that even not with that, they still might be like, sorry bro, but we could still be friends, you know what I mean? Some people would just be like, what? Like, no, we can't even be friends no more because you're weird.
People, I've heard of people being friends for 20 years and they came out to their best friend and would tell them, like, hey, I like you, and they have cut them off. That's
y'all remember that show Friend Zone?
Yes, on MTV.
Yes.
I watched that show.
Yeah, I always wanted to.
Some of them actually date.
So
I did that.
I believe it. I wanted to do it. I wanted to, like,
you want to friend zone
go
someone?
on the show and
friend zone
put my best friend on there. But no.
Oh my God, I do know that show.
Yes.
I'm hella late, bro.
Wow.
Yeah, that show.
Friends.
Yeah,
that show was lit.
There was.
I love myself.
For whoever you are.
Man.
But there's some people who don't love themselves because, like I said, being gay for most people is not a choice. Like
it's just any other regular relationship, but you're just gay. So
yeah, but people who are in a regular relationship don't get bashed. They don't get talked about.
Because it's the norm. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's just like, how do you accept yourself if you're coming out and you're scared, or you don't want to come out to family, or you're hating yourself, or you want to commit suicide?
Find people who support you.
How do you accept yourself?
I feel like at the end of the day, you were born into this world alone. The only person that you need to accept you is you. Literally. And once you realize that and really believe that in your heart, you'll start to really feel like you're growing into the person that you feel like you are. And that's really like the basis of people really. There's a lot of people in this world who do go off of what other people think of them and how other people see them. And I personally feel like that is the root of a lot of people, going through suicide or cutting themselves and things like that, because people are not accepting them. But they just have that mindset where they actually care about certain aspects of how people feel about them. But if you could get that support or that help or that therapy into accepting yourself, then you will literally be able to get over that hurdle.
Judge you as you.
But how I feel is like when you genuinely love yourself, fat, skinny, tall, gay, straight, whatever.
Green, orange,
when
purple.
you genuinely love yourself, that shows. And the people who want to be around in your life, or the people that God lets stay in your life, are the people who deserve to be around. Like the people you lose because you come out because you're gay,
so be it.
Friends, family members, whoever.
They weren't your real friends.
Yeah, they don't deserve to be in your life.
At the end of the day, we're all one.
We're all one. So just accept who you are. You have to love yourself. And when you love yourself and stop hiding who you are, and you start coming out and just being happy about who you are, then the real people will start flocking to you. So, you know,
there's a saying that people can choose their friends, but they can't choose their family. And to a certain extent, obviously that's true. But at the end of the day, once you become an adult and are able to withstand yourself, because, you know, even as an adult, you rely on people sometimes, and maybe those are the people that don't accept your sexuality, or maybe it's the opposite. But what you need to know mentally and spiritually for yourself is that you can choose that family. You can choose what family members know about your business. You can choose what family members don't. You can choose what friends or associates you have around you, what jobs you want to go to, all that stuff. I'm not going to say it's that easy, because it's not that easy or that simple. It takes a lot of, you know, trials and errors and tribulations and, you know, falling and getting back up to get through those things, as is life, period. But once you can realize, you know, to have that stability for yourself, to know that you can choose those people who you let in for real. Some people get to the door, they knock and they never get in. Those are the people that you don't need to let in. Some people you can let in the door.
Yeah. And I feel like blood is, just because blood is blood does not mean that that's your family. Mm-hmm. I didn't have, the door is unlocked.
Excuse her. Pardon. I thought I was tripping.
My God. You know, I didn't have
out the door. You know, went looking.
I didn't have family growing up. You know what I'm saying? So the people that my mom hung out with were more of a family than my own family. So don't get it twisted that the family that you were raised or you grew up around, you have to have their approval or be around them, because family is not blood. It be the people who aren't blood that's better equipped to be your family than the blood that you have. So that doesn't mean anything.
And when I say I know it's not that easy or that simple, I know from experience, because I can count on 2 fingers when I chose homelessness over living with people that didn't accept me.
I agree.
So, and that's really sad, and it's a statement in itself, because there are those people that do not accept people, like, to the point where, you know, you just feel like you're being stabbed over and over and over again. And at some point, you just got to choose, like, this is not good for my mental health. And that's what I chose, because I do accept myself. I love myself, and I don't give a if you don't. And if you don't, that's cool. I'm out. I don't care. Like, I really don't give a fuck.
I'm romantic. I love that about myself. Or I try to be romantic.
She cooked us breakfast this morning, you guys.
I know. So that's your best quality. That's what you like the most. Raven?
I like my confidence. I have confidence that goes higher than the highest mountain on this earth.
For real.
And nobody can tell me anything different, and it's going to be that way till I die.
My love for people. I love people from all walks of life. If you're homeless, poor, a straight hoe, or whatever, I will love you until you do until you do me dirty and cut you out. You know what I'm saying?
Everybody gets a chance for sure.
You get one chance. But see, how I operate is that when I meet you, you have all my trust, all my love, everything. You know what I'm saying?
It's like starting a class in school. You start with 100 and then you go from there. Yeah,
you start with 100. Like, if you felt like it was okay to disrespect me once, you'll do it again. So if I can forgive, but I won't forget, and I'll deal with you at a distance, or not deal with you at all.
Right.
Well,
that was a fun conversation.
Yes. Hopefully we answered some questions that you guys, had. If you guys have anything else, let us know in the comments. Like, subscribe, turn them notifications on so you can see whenever we upload videos.
We're gonna do shout outs for people who turn on the notifications at the end of the video, so stay tuned for that. Let us know your take on, the things that we talked about, and if you've got anything else you want to add to it, let us know about that too. We're literally open books pretty much.
All right, bye guys.
Honestly, I don't give a f***. I watch gay so I love gay guys.
I was gonna say
honestly,
that.
like gay is
I would rather watch.
That's like, I mean, like,
yes.
two guys with like actually.
I would rather watch two guys have sex
the way they look at each other is like real love.
Woman.
It's like
sometimes
it's like one just unite. I don't
not going around you and your whatever the case may be. Let them be who they want to be.
Like Jasmine said, like, I'm thinking about 20 years from now. I'm not thinking about right now and how we can have matching Air Forces or fucking Gucci belts and like that. Like, I'm thinking about 20 years from now. I'm thinking about what was said under the breath.
Oh God!
What was said?
Oh God, I can't.
But yeah, like, I'm thinking about
no shade.
And then when you go out, you see like cross dressers, and you're like, oh my God, that's beautiful too. Like, I'm looking at that too. So I never connected it with me being gay when I was like in middle school and high school. Well, towards the end of high school, I realized that I liked women.